Hi everyone and welcome to RK Media. This is a quick video explanation about a little problem I have with the product. The product is called CoolMaster Hyper TX3 Evo. This is the cooling solution, obviously, for CPU air cooling solution, and a lot of information, a lot of videos, unpacking videos or presentation videos about this product was talking about the mounting solutions, and everybody was talking about the mounting being possible only in this position, which is because of these two threads. So people were saying this is the only mounting position possible. A lot of sites were saying that. I bought the product thinking that this cannot be true, obviously, because most of the mounting solutions are made to be mounted in both directions. And just wanted to confirm to you guys, if you want to buy this product, which is a very good, affordable, low price and very good cooling solution also, this product I think is very popular. So if you're like me and you want to buy a product like this, know that yes, this is a product you can mount obviously in this position also, which is a normal position. Why? Because most of the cases have an intake fan in the front and an exhaust fan in the back of the case, and in this way you're creating a cool airflow going this way through the CPU, obviously taking the air also from the graphic card. And in this position you have the hot air from the graphic card coming this way and you blowing it on the top of the case, which in some cases, some people have exhaust fans on the top of the case. It's not my case. I'm building a silent PC case in this particular moment. And for me, this is the perfect position, obviously. Cold air blowing from the front through the rear of the case. So obviously this is the default position. And that's what I thought, but nobody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about placing it this way and saying this is the only position. Obviously, it's not true. This is, as you can see, there are threads, there are die-cast aluminum threads, canals actually that are made exactly and to be placed like this by default. So I confirm to you guys who want to buy this product that this, through the head pipe here and through the other head pipe, this is the default position of this particular CPU cooler, and it's made by default to be mounted obviously this way, which is the default position for most CPU boxes and most CPU PC box configurations. So this is an explanation how to mount this CPU cooler, this particular CPU cooler on AMD 4 mount for Ryzen, in my case Ryzen 1700X processor. So this is the solution, as I said, in this direction in my case, and you have this plate here. It goes that way. You can hook it up here on one side, hooks. I'll show you without the one. So it hooks on this position through the head pipes, through the mounting metal, die-cast aluminum metal plate of the cooler, and then here they provide you with another solution, which is this one. And this solution, as you can see, it's very complicated one. So it goes, first of all, you have to close it like this. This is the idea actually. This thing closing pushes and closes it. There you go. It goes like this, and then when you close it, it pushes it down and takes it up from here, and this is how it tightens. So it goes through, as you can see, goes through here into the holes like this, and be careful because as you can see the holes are made like this. So you have one here and another thread here for this and this, so it goes in the middle and then it goes like this. Okay, one thread going inside here, one thread going inside there. And this is how you mount it. And in the end, they provide you with a rubber thingy. I don't know what this is for, maybe to apply tension on it or just put pressure. And you can obviously, this is, you can glue it. It has a tape on it already, so you can take the protective here paper and then just glue it this way. And then it goes like this, and you close it this way. And once it's closed, you have to press pretty hard, and we show that in a second. Once you press it, it will be closed. Okay, so this is how you mount this solution, and this side is like this, the other side is like this. So there you go, that's the mounting, and we're gonna do it in a second. I have to put the CPU first, and I show you once I put the CPU how exactly to mount it. Okay, So there you go. This is how to mount it with the processor. In my case, as you can see, is the Ryzen 700X. So AMD 4 mount processor. Goes pretty obviously. Well, for those of you who don't know, there is always an indication. So you take this little lever, put it out. There is an indication over here, so you can see there is three sides that are pretty plain, and then on one side you have a little bit of like relief over here, like a different. It's a little bit thick on one side, and this obviously goes with this triangle here. You can see a small triangle that is the indication that this side should be on there when it's written CPU actually. In most of the cases, you can put it in very gently. Don't bend the little pins. Just put it in this direction and should be going in pretty easily. There you go. It's in. Once it's in, we're going to close this. And the processor is put. And it's in place. Once it's in place, we have to obviously clean the processor. And I'll show you how to do that in exactly a second. So once you have placed your processor and you have you cleaned it with a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, medical alcohol, not drinking alcohol, and it's in place with obviously the consideration the little go to, in this case, silver triangle there going to the indication on the mount itself. So in the good position and lock position, you're gonna apply the thermal paste, which is provided in our case. I'm going to use the provided thermal paste. Most thermal pastes, there's some that are better than others, but the difference will be 1 to 2 degrees. Not really great differences. In most cases, pretty much 1 degree difference. So doesn't matter if you have provided one, like in this case, apply it, and use it. As that's what I'm going to do. And as always with this kind of products, it's good for it to be relatively fresh. If you have one from your last mount from like 3 years or 4, might be dry already. So always use the provided one, which is fresh and unopened. Okay, in my case, I like the X technique. A lot of people using different techniques. In my case, it's the X. Works pretty well. For Ryzen, they say put 5 dots. The X is the same thing, basically, but you put a little bit more because I found most of the time you have to put a little bit more for it to work correctly, okay? And you don't go until the end. You go a little bit inside and you press like this. In my case, I did press a little bit stronger from in the beginning, but I think it will be okay. Put a little bit over there. And generally speaking, you don't have to put too much on it, but put a good quantity on it, okay? Because even if you have to take a little bit off, which in my case I might do, it's always good to have a lot of, paste on it. As you can see, I put a little bit of tape, which is, in this case, it's a paper tape that we use for painting and for painting jobs. This is just for me to protect my my motherboard from the excess of thermal paste. Once I'm done, I can easily take this, even when with the cooling solution on. I can take easily the little pieces of tape with the exceeding, with the excess of thermal paste. So I'm just doing this to protect my motherboard. As you can see here, once it's clean, and you don't have fingerprints on it and it took off the plastic protection, you can mount it onto the processor and onto the thermal paste. Once it's mounted, it's a little bit like this. It's finicky, but it's normal. You can see. We are going to put it here. On one side first, we place it, and of course it's going to move, but that's normal. Try not to move it too much, obviously, and always stay in contact with the processor, most parts of the processor, okay? We're gonna take this out so I can show you. Unfortunately, it's very badly placed. It's not very easy, but nobody said it's going to be easy. This obviously is something they thought of after they made this. So you press like this, you put it in, okay, it's in. and then we're gonna close it. Okay, you see it's not obviously very easy, but once you're in, you're in. And now you close it. Once it pops in, it's closed, okay? The only thing that is left to do is to glue this little thing here. We try in the other way, and we put it into the little holes and we glue it there. And there you go. It's done. Now it's not gonna move. It's not going anywhere. Okay? Last part, we take in the little pieces of tape. Donc, we're taking off this part first. That is just security, okay? In any case. There you go. So it's going on my hands, but not on my motherboard, which is what we wanted, okay? And there you go. Pretty neat and clean installation of the CPU cooler, okay? All we need to do now is just put it into the CPU fan 1 heater here from our fan, and we're done, okay? As you can see, the limiters in there, so we can put it in safely. You can see the 2 limiters here, and you can see this plastic here that goes in between the limiters. There you go. It's done. And this cable, well, you can do whatever you want with it. In my case, what I like to do is put it like this. There you go. That's what I do usually. Well, this one you can cut off. We don't take this one out because it's warranty void if removed, as you can see, so I'm leaving this one in. But this, I do this, so everything is tight and clean. So now let's talk about how to put your RAM into the motherboard. In my case, as you can see, the motherboard is the MSI B350M. So MSI B350M. This is the Mortar Arctic in my case. Why Arctic? Because it's white. So it's the Mortar B350M mortar. And the RAM I choose will be the CORSAIR Vengeance. You can see this RAM, the CORSAIR Vengeance DDR4, 3000 Hertz. Why did I choose this RAM? Because first of all, you can go until 3200, sorry. I choose 3000 because for me, there's not a big difference between 3000 and 3200 Hertz in performance, and what is more important is to choose the right one. Good company. I like Corsair, I like the Vengeance series. You can see aluminum spreaders. This is a very good RAM, and the advantage of this RAM is that it's a quick RAM and it can be activated through the BIOS of the MSI B350M. It can be activated for the RAM boost, because on most of those motherboards, if you don't activate the RAM boost in BIOS, you won't have the speed, you won't have the 3000 in this case, or the 3200 if you have another even speedier RAM. On this motherboard, if you don't activate the RAM boost in the BIOS, you will have maximum 2400 Hertz from this RAM. So 2400 Hertz from this RAM, because you have to activate the boost in the BIOS in order to go to these speeds, because these are overclock speeds. These are not stock speeds. No, most of the motherboards don't do this speed stock. But for that, you need to go and update your BIOS before you install Windows. And I say this is very important. Go and update manually from a USB key your BIOS on the motherboard before you install Windows. To do that, take a USB key formatted. I think it's FAT32 for the BIOS that it has to be formatted. Formatted, put the BIOS in, only the BIOS, nothing else. Formatted, put the BIOS in, go to the BIOS, go to the menu, go to upgrade it manually from there, and then you go to the RAM section of your BIOS if it's a UEFI BIOS, and activate the RAM boost or the RAM overclock or whatever it's called. And in most of the cards, like is the case of this card, you can choose a profile of overclock or the profile RAM boost. In my case, I can choose profile 2, and it will find the RAM, it will find the Corsair, and it will find the speed that is 3000, and you say, okay, this is your profile 2, this is your card, this is your RAM, MSI 3000, and it will activate the 3000 RAM boost, and the RAM will then run on 3000 hertz. Okay, this is how this RAM would work, because a lot of people say, oh, I bought a RAM that is 3200 and it's only working on 2130 or 300 or 2400. I don't understand why it's not working faster than this. That is because you didn't activate the BIOS option, the RAM boost or RAM overclock or whatever it is. You didn't choose the profile, you didn't choose the RAM, so the overclock is not done. Those RAMs are not by default going to those speeds. You have to activate the boost, validate the boost activation in the BIOS itself in order to get them working on those speeds. So installing the RAM, pretty obvious. In my case, I have 4 slots. In some cases, you have 2 slots, then obviously it's most of the time it's single channel, so you put on 1 slot or on the other, or 2 slots, you populate them, you're good. On this one, I have 4 slots and it's a dual channel RAM. What does it mean, dual channel? Dual channel means that obviously it's 2 channels, so you will have more speed. It will be the accumulated speed of those 2 channels, and your RAM will be working faster and the times will be better. Then you have other cards that have 8 slots or server cards, and those cards will be working on quad channel. Well, this quad channel, it's obviously better than dual channel, but just as you know from the tests that I saw from people that make those tests, the boost from single channel to dual channel is very big, and the boost from dual channel to quad channel not very big, so not big difference there. So that's why I choose most of the time cards with only dual channel and as you can see 4 channels, because obviously the price is better, and this is not a card. This is not actually a PC I'm doing for myself. This is a silent PC I'm doing for a friend of mine, and she's an architect and wants to do some work for architecture with it, with programs like Katia and 3D or whatever they're using, and that's why this card is perfect. I mean, I have two RAMs, I have 16 gigs of RAM, and obviously I want to exploit the dual channel. How to exploit the dual channel, those cards, pretty obviously. Actually, you can go here. I don't know if it works. I'm trying to show you guys. Over here you have an explanation about the RAM, and it says DIMM A1, DIMM A2, DIMM B1, and DIMM B2. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's very small, so that's what it says. And it's written DIMM A1 it's written DIMM A2 and DIMM B2. There is a comma and it says first. Okay, so what does it mean? First is that if you want to use dual channel, then populate DIMM A2 and DIMM B2 first, which means put your RAM on DIMM A2 and DIMM B2 in order to have the dual channel. If you put them like this, it won't work. If you put them like this, it won't work. If you put them like this, it won't work. Okay, if you put them on DIMM A1 and DIMM B1, I'm pretty sure it will work also. But generally, the rule with the RAM is that if you want dual channel or quad channel or whatever, if you have quad channel, obviously you have to populate on both sides. But if you have dual channel like me, you populate this one and this one, or this one and this one. In this case, they say first populate those two. Okay, because obviously that's the indication for dual channel. So I'm pretty sure if I populate this and this will work, but if I go this way or this way or this way, it won't work. Okay, one next to each other. You have to go over one always in order to do dual channel to work. But I'm gonna follow the indication, just do what they say. So I'm gonna place A2 and B2 first. Okay. Obviously, how do you place the RAM? As you can see, there's different spaces in this RAM. One is longer than the other. As you can see here, one is longer than the other, so that gives me an indication. In this motherboard, only one place is opening here. One side only is opening. The other one is fixed. So I open all of them, just to be sure. I don't need to open all of them, but then I go place it in the middle there in the canal. You see there's a small canal there that when it goes on both sides. So I put in the canal there, making sure that this is the long, like this is the long, this is the short, like this is the short. The right hole here, that's called, it's very important, otherwise it's not going in. Making sure that the hole is in front of the little gap there, little divider, okay? Once I'm done this, I just place it and I just press it gently. And there you go, it closes itself. It pops in and it's done. I do the same from the other one. Long side, short side, divider, okay? And channels here, canals here to make it on. So there you go. Pops in, it's closed. That's it, your RAM installed. Don't forget to upgrade your BIOS. Don't forget to activate the RAM boost in your BIOS option after that. I hope this video helped you with the installation of this product, the CPU cooler Evo TX3 from Hyper Evo TX3 from Coolmaster. I hope it answered some questions about installation, CPU, cooler, and RAM. And I hope I'll see you again in my channel, RK Media, for new videos or new explanations about different products. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.